Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day. So I found a lot going on right now in the competitive Call of Duty scene. Finally some confirmation from the Seattle Surge what they're going to be planning next year, but also OpTic Dallas may be on the verge of confirmation, with Washington maybe stepping in for that 12th CDL spot. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Really upset the channel. Thank you very much for doing that. It's free after all. You love to see it. First of all, this from the Mutineers. Mutineers merch, they're talking about Neptune right here, or at least Neptune here in their background. And, well, yes, there was some talk coming out yesterday evening from Neptune that he was potentially going to join Dallas in mid-season when they made this whole Vivid change because, well, he didn't get to join because his buyout was too high. I think Rambo even said a couple of months ago that they were looking into Neptune and potentially bringing him on. Didn't happen in the end, which does kind of interesting, right, because Mutineers maybe not even going to be with Neptune next season, still using him in some of their tweets, which, well, still understandably still signed to them for now, but maybe not going to be the case going forwards. And this whole Neptune Crimsix type thing that could have happened last year on Dallas is that maybe going to happen this year on the New York Subliners. And speaking of the Subliners, they do make a confirmation. Yesterday he came, he saw he melted. That's Mac gets out of there. So yeah, kind of interesting, right? Mac definitely did some great things, I thought, for New York the last couple of years, but he's going to be moving on, rumored right now to be towards the Seattle Surge. And when Subliners made a similar confirmation for a Seam a couple of weeks ago now, pretty much immediately Los Angeles Guerrillas confirmed their entire roster. So I thought that maybe Seattle Surge, the rumored team that Mac is going to be going to, would do a similar thing. That is, well, not how it works out quite as of yet, but Mac does say this: nothing but love for everyone in New York. Wish I could have accomplished more with the amazing people I was surrounded by, but it is what it is. And Hydra in the reply, right, dear Big Mac X French fries, good luck brother, cannot wait for our battle, says Mac. So definitely kind of confirming he's going to be somewhere in the league at least going forward into next year, and potentially that is going to be on the Seattle Surge. But they do finally make a couple of confirmations. This first of all, that Phoenix is going to be their coach going forwards. So yeah, great to see, to be honest. Of course, Jay Nubsy was their coach for a couple of years, didn't have the greatest successes there, and now Phoenix, he's done some great things in the amateur challenger side in the North American region. He's going to be coming in. Seems to have a good eye for talent. Worked with well, a number of well, top amateurs in the challenger scene the last couple of years. So definitely they're making some serious shakeups in terms of their coaching style, but also in terms of their general manager. They're bringing in Novus. We've had the pleasure of working with Novus at Breaking Point the last year or so, and this guy's an executor, right? Like, he gets things done. And well, to be fair, a lot of it really cool to see him get this position, but also a lot of responsibility on this role, right? Because certainly Seattle, where they've maybe struggled the last couple of years, is in their player selection, right? They paid a lot of money for some really big name players, but maybe not necessarily the right players as we've seen year one and year two also of the CDL. This time they're taking seemingly a completely different approach, maybe like a Florida Mutineers type approach where they try and pick up some good up and coming amateurs and really make things work. That's probably where this team is best geared and probably where they're going to get the most result going forward as well. So this year we begin laying the foundation for long-term success with explosive talent backed up by an amazing staff. So yeah, definitely congratulations to Brandon on this front, and well, hopefully Seattle Surge can actually be competitive for the next couple of years and going on to the future as well. We would certainly like to see it for the competitiveness, I suppose, of the league. So Seattle Surge do continue, and they do an announcement regardless. Message 004 received. What is in the water? And this time, Crone comes out with the well, the Morse code as it is right here. He is still on the island, they say. So the last few days we've heard kind of hints towards accuracy firstly, then I think it was Pred, then it was Mac yesterday, and this is probably a hint towards Pred being yeah, from Australia, right? He's still on the island, so in Oceania somewhere. There's a few islands down there. I imagine that well, that is kind of what they're thinking about going forward. But yeah, it could be Crone to Surge as well, as I think he said in the replies, because he is from New Zealand. But Conor McGreedy says over here at Seattle Surge, the content producer for them, enjoy the weekend, Surge fans. Hopefully the flank is live on Monday. So maybe that's going to mean that the confirmation for this team finally will come through on a Monday, which means this weekend nothing more to happen. But who knows what Seattle Surge are going to do? Pretty unpredictable right now. But of course, one thing that is certainly unpredictable that we've been wondering about for a couple of weeks is what's going to go on with this 12th Call of Duty slot. If it is the case that OpTic and Dallas are kind of doing this merger, that OpTic is going to be brought under the Envy banner and OpTic Dallas is going to become a new Call of Duty team, what happens to that 12th spot? We do wonder what's going on with Paris as well. Like, I'd still kind of like that slot to be sold to Heretics, but, you know, we'll have to see what happens there. But still, the Chicago slot seems to be up for grabs. And of course, if a new organization does come in a very similar way, really, to what happened with Immortals last year with OpTic Gaming Los Angeles getting sold over to Los Angeles Thieves, even though that was in the same city, this is, I believe, going to be the first time we'll see a city relocation from Chicago potentially to elsewhere. So it was Crone, I'm pretty sure he helped with some of the sources for this, but it comes out from Jacob Wolf, and well, this is what the article has to say. I'll leave a link down below for you guys if you want to check out the entire thing, but this is pretty much what it goes through. Washington Esports Ventures, the parent company of Overwatch League's Washington Justice, is negotiating a deal that, if completed, would see it acquire the Chicago COD League spot and propose relocation to Washington, D.C. Sources sources familiar with those conversations told Esports. Washington is one of two serious parties. We don't know right now what the other one is going to be in negotiations with NRG Esports, the current owners of OpTic Gaming and OpTic Chicago. Sources said while a deal is not closed, there's optimism among league officials and parties involved that the deal will move forward according to sources. So basically the situation is right now, like when Hex got the OpTic branding back and he got it off Immortals, right, OGLA, he then sold that spot onto Los Angeles Thieves to Nadeshot, took the OpTic branding back, rebranded Chicago Huntsman into OpTic Chicago, and then kind of wanted to divest from the relationship with NRG, but couldn't fund it on his own, I believe, and therefore like he still doesn't really want to be with NRG, so he may have to merge with Envy to make that happen and ensure the funding is still there for the team going forwards, which I'm pretty sure is what's going on right now, which of course means that if Chicago and then Dallas do end up merging, then of course, well, there never will have been actually an OpTic event in Chicago, which is kind of strange to think about, it's kind of unfortunate, but yeah, Chicago may be straight up out of the league. If the Washington-based ownership group does acquire the franchise slots, it will shed the OpTic brand, which is currently being discussed as moving with its frontman Hector Hex Rodriguez in a possible deal with Envy Gaming and the Dallas Empire, and look to start anew in Washington. A new brand for the team would be created during the downtime between now and the 2022 Call of Duty League season. A very interesting stuff. It seems like Washington may be the home. Of course, well, this from Crown a couple of weeks ago now, Dallas Empire to acquire the OpTic brand. Crazy stuff. This, of course, adds more credence to this possibility that yes, indeed, it will be the case that the Chicago COD League spot is up for sale. Washington, ventures are going to grab it and take it over there and make themselves a new team. Now, of course, there's been a lot of speculation if it does go to Washington, which Crone seems to think is pretty likely at this point, then, well, what is the slot going to be called? Of course, their football team right now, the Washington football team, as it's been called, I'm not really sure for how long. I googled it was kind of mind-blowing, but I can't remember the old name, and I was thinking, okay, maybe that makes some sense. But yeah, the Washington Call of Duty team, I don't really know what they're going to call themselves, but yeah, certainly a lot to think about here. There was some talk as well about maybe E-United, could they somehow slot into this team, call themselves like the Washington United or something? It could be kind of interesting, and then you've got to think about it, right? There's been a lot of players rumoured right now to top teams, but some of these players that are falling out of the league, where do they find themselves, right? What does Washington think about doing if they do come into the league, as in terms of creating a roster for next year? Zinni, Anti-Method Zinni, is certainly one who's considering the opportunity to protect and serve. He says he even started off his stream with the national anthem. I'm pretty sure it's kind of entertaining. But yes, could Methods be a reasonable player to build around? I think it's certainly possible, right? There's a lot of good talent out there that hasn't really got an opportunity in the spot right now in the Challengers region. Methods could be a good guy to build around, right? Massive brand, everyone likes him in the Call of Duty scene, and certainly a very respectable, solid assault rifle player. If Seattle are building around accuracy and making that work with some amateur players and some amateur players, but also some kind of Mac, for example, experience for a couple of years in the CDL, could you do something similar here with Methods and make a team work there? He seems to be pretty keen to make it happen right now, an unrestricted free agent, I believe, technically on the Toronto Ultra, but if he doesn't find an opportunity, I'm pretty sure he might still be there as the substitute. It's tough to say right now, but yeah, I mean, Methods to protect and serve, he's certainly looking for the opportunity to make it happen. Wanted to mention this then as well, given it was relevant from yesterday, with Nadeshot talking to with some guy trolling in his chat, and he's talking about the spot that happened. So of course, it's kind of a massive chain of events really, with Immortals selling that OGLA spot, and then Hector gets the branding, and Nadeshot end up getting the Los Angeles Thieves spot, talking about how it was a $27 million slot, which is kind of about what we expected, right, with a $25 million mark. I thought that maybe the LA spots could have been a little bit more expensive, because apparently there was a lot of interest for those, but of course, this was like a year 2 acquisition here from Nadeshot, and yeah, like he talks about the $27 million, I'll share the clip right now, well, for you guys right at the end of the video, I guess, and as he says, he's like, 27 mil. At the same time, this is not like he handed over a $27 million check. He probably assumed that the debt that was held really by the former owners, because I don't know how much they pay off every year, maybe like 5 mil or something a year, I don't really know what it is, but anyway, they pay off some certain amount of money every year, so they came to some arrangements where they'd buy the slot, but also assume the debt that hadn't yet been paid off by the Immortals group, which is kind of what Jacob Wolf is explaining in this tweet thread right here. But still pretty interesting, right? Los Angeles Thieves, $27 million does make you wonder about some of these other slots, what they could potentially be selling for, right? Like what's Chicago going to do? What's NRG going to do to this Washington team? Because apparently this Washington team has been interested, the organization, been interested to get involved in Call of Duty for quite a while now. So maybe NRG will charge them top dollar, but maybe some other buyers players interested in getting involved as well. This I thought was really cool from easyMac just now as we close down the video. Year 2 done, a little update with a percentage increase leaderboard. So this is like total followers in the league going into, well, last season into this year. And I thought it was pretty impressive, to be honest. So OpTic leading it up, 264,000. Thieves actually in second. They rocketed up there very quickly, which is pretty impressive from a new team. They've only been here 1 year. FaZe in third, then Dallas, then the Subliners just over 100,000. So 5 teams over 100,000 Twitter followers. Then Ultra at 6th, which is kind of impressive, to be honest. Minnesota Rokkr in 7th, the Ravens in 8th, so not too bad. Mutineers, Surge, Los Angeles Grillers, and the Paris Legion, maybe, you know, leading up the bottom of the pack. So impressive stuff. And in terms of overall growth, it's FaZe actually with a massive growth this year, which is kind of expected, right, given how good they were this season. But you also got the Subliners, a pretty big growth. Los Angeles Grillers definitely getting up there, and certainly will be, I'm pretty sure, with this season, which hopefully is going to be more successful for them. Definitely looking for a competitive season all around. And just to finish off with this for you guys, even though they spelled Vanguard wrong, I just noticed right here, how is your roster looking at going into next year? The first 4 names that come out to you guys, well, is going to be your squad for next year. But very much intrigued to get your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. Really upset that YouTube are going to know you enjoy this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you much as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.
Your COD career is dead. You know, somebody told Chubbs that I own a COD team now, bro. What you mean? I got shooters. All 4 of my players are better than you. Shooters on the payroll, dead ass. Got people talking about my COD career is dead. Yeah, I did it by choice. And now I got a team, bro. It was 27 M's. We got it.